Once born in a political family, it is very hard to divorce somebody from politics.
Unlike in other political dynasties, born in State House did not automatically translate to born to State House for one Uhuru Kenyatta. Born on 26th October 1961 to Kenya's founding President Jomo Kenyatta and his fourth wife Mama Ngina Kenyatta, Uhuru had a relatively rosy childhood.
My aunt used to work at State House, and she was one of the minders of the family. And when I closed school, I would go and visit her, and I would be in contact with Uhuru and the rest of the members of the family. So that way I got to know him very well at a cross range. Otherwise, when he was very young, we're in Gatundu, he's in Gatundu. That time, of course, you cannot be able to get too close. But when he matured, we are age mates, to say the least. We are born the same year. So you can see teenagers can rhyme very well.
He went to the prestigious St. Mary's School in Nairobi before joining the Amherst College in the US to study political science and economics. Preferring to be down-to-earth person in his youth, Uhuru shied from politics.
Those who have been close to President Uhuru say that he's a prince who left the palace and lived on the streets with the people.
The way Uhuru is, there are some people who can walk around and you can feel the air. You can feel them. They are there, the presence. He makes it very easy.
But that was to gradually change in 1997 when Uhuru was elected as the local chairman of the then ruling party KANU in Gatundu. These appointments set the stage for Uhuru's grooming by the then President Daniel Moi as his successor.
Being the son of the founder of KANU, and it can be seen just like even the leader of the opposition that he spent more time around his father, way before even President Moi catapulted him into politics.
Uhuru subsequently contested the Gatundu South parliamentary seat, once held by his father, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, but lost to a Nairobi architect Moses Muhia. Moi offered him a soft landing as chairman of Kenya Tourism Board in 1999. But Moi could not let his dream go, and in 2001, he replaced his long-standing ally Mark Too with the young Uhuru as a nominated member of parliament.
I think he had seen something in Uhuru long before other people could be able to detect. And in actual fact, you can see it has come to fruition.
One of the great things in politics that President Moi had was how to identify political talent.
Hardly had Kenyatta settled down in parliament than Moi quickly appointed him to the cabinet as the local government minister. Barely a year later, in 2002, Uhuru was elected as the first vice chairman of KANU.
Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta for the coming general election.
President Moi would later pick Uhuru as his preferred successor, a move that sharply divided KANU right through the middle.
I think President Moi now took it upon himself to introduce. He must have identified something from what I've told you, that a prince who left the palace.
Big names in the then ruling party such as the late Professor George Saitoti, Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga and Nicholas Biwott were not mentioned.
He looked at all the people around him, yes, and I think he had studied them and he knew the fault, the good and bad of everybody. But the bottom line is that he looked at Uhuru and saw somebody who can be able to be a good leader.
The person who could consistently take the mantle of KANU by blood and relation and everything was Uhuru Kenyatta.
KANU had earlier merged with Raila Odinga's National Development Party NDP to form New KANU, in which Raila was elected the Secretary General, replacing Joseph Kamotho. Raila led the disgruntled KANU members out of the party to form the Rainbow Movement, leaving Moi and his hand-picked successor Uhuru Kenyatta almost alone, with the party literally reduced to a shell.
We are going to formally be launching the Liberal Democratic Party.
For Raila Odinga, it wasn't as clear. He didn't have that long drawn KANU pedigree, as they say, to be entrusted with the succession of the party at that time.
Kenyatta would square it out with Mwai Kibaki of the National Rainbow Coalition NARC in 2002 general election. Kenyatta lost to Kibaki, conceded defeat and settled for the leader of the opposition slot in parliament.
These provisional figures do give indication that Honorable Mwai Kibaki is ahead of the next presidential candidate, that is Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, by a very wide margin.
I accept the choice of the people, and in particular, now concede that Mr. Mwai Kibaki will be the third president of the Republic of Kenya.
In the run-up to the 2007 general elections, Uhuru Kenyatta joined forces with President Kibaki of PNU, who was running for the second term, against ODM presidential candidate Raila Odinga. Kibaki won the disputed presidential election that led to the infamous 2007-2008 post-election violence in Kenya. Kenyatta would later be charged at the International Criminal Court as an indirect co-perpetrator of the violence. The prosecutor would also charge William Ruto, a supporter of ODM. Locally, Kenyatta was appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance in the Grand Coalition government that was formed after Kibaki and Raila reached an internationally negotiated compromise. Uhuru resigned as Minister for Finance upon the confirmation of the charges, but maintained his innocence. The charges were dropped on 13th March 2015 for lack of evidence.
Given the state of the evidence in this case, I have no alternative but to withdraw the charges against Mr. Kenyatta.
I'm very keen to run home to my wife right now and see, tell her what's happening, and anyway, I'm very excited, by the way. So.
Despite the ICC baggage, Uhuru and a new outfit, the National Alliance, TNA, joined hands with William Ruto's United Republican Party, URP, to defeat the Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka-led coalition for the restoration of democracy code in the 2013 general elections.
President Uhuru moves with personal chains concerning the ICC, as he kept on saying, these are personal challenges. And with the extreme innuendos from the external world that he is not the right candidate, but he still made it. That is a self-made person.
Like now today, out of the whole of Africa, has been selected to go and address the G7. What does that tell you?
I now have the singular pleasure of confirming the nomination of Uhuru Kenyatta as the Jubilee presidential candidates for the general election.
Come August 8th, 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta will be defending his seat under the Jubilee Party on the basis of fulfillment of the promises as regards job creation, standard gauge railway, road construction and upgrading healthcare system, among others. These, however, could be countered by criticism on issues such as heavy borrowing, graft and politicization of hunger and cost of food. For Channel 1's special edition, I'm Samson Kitavi.